I'm John Harkin, and I'm standing on the Nave Crone. And we have our 10 years past this one, and half digger for 20 years before that.
And what do you catch with this boat?
We're fishing for crab and lobsters at the minute, and we're fishing welts. We've welt pots out there as well. We'll be heading to them now in a few weeks' time. The crabs is finished.
And how did you get into crab fishing?
I started fishing crab in 1979, where I was at the building trade and the money was very scarce and had one day at the crab. Had as much money for one day at the crab as I had for a full month's working.
But you, like from you were young though, you had an association with the sea, you know.
I started with my grandfather in 1963, fishing for salmon on the Clementi River with a draft net. That's when it all started.
How did you get into the crab fishing? I mean, you've no experience in it, so how did it start?
Well, I started from the money at the building was light, and we knew there were local boats looking for crewmen. So I took in hand. I loved the weather, and I took in hand, and that's when it went on from there.
And then how long were you working with other boats until you got your own boat?
12 years. Then I got my own half digger. Then after that, and I started fishing. I started the salmon, and then we would go to the oysters and the crab. You know, fished all them things, and mussels. Everything was going. We fished it, tried it.
So, how many years have you been fishing for the crab now?
Fishing crab now, about 41 years done there this year. That's what I've done.
And you're retiring from it?
Put a hand down to the boy himself.
Your son Damien?
The son and Damien, he's hopefully taking over. Well, he has taken over because I was in hospital there for a wee while, and he took over that time. And only for crews hard to get, I'd be out watching them coming in, and that's a bit hit. You know.
And do you think crews are hard to get?
Crews very hard to get.
Why would that be?
Well, it's coming the end of the time now that they don't want to go near the sea. You know, that seems to be just the way it is. For a lot of years now, crews very hard to get. But whenever I started, you could start off in a salmon boat on the first day of whenever they would start on the first week of June, and you could have 4 or 5 in every boat. With that many people looking to get on, you know, there was a bit of money in it. And then with all these new laws and everything, the salmon went and went to go out, the gill nets offers and things like that, you know, left in that all we had was a bit of crab, and you know, I just left that their days was getting less and less to fish. You know?
But you've been crab fishing 41 years, you've been a living out of it, you've bred a family out of it, so there's obviously, you know, for anybody, there is a living there to be made still.
There's a good living to be made yet that anybody, like the young fellows coming up, anybody else on it, like. But they just don't want it. They want the job from start at 8 o'clock and way home again at 5. You know, like fishing is, like this weather here now, not out all week. Come Saturday and Sunday, bed Saturday and Sunday. Where if you're in another job, you're Saturday and Sunday off.
So, what would a typical day be like going crab fishing?
It's lovely. We leave the harbour in the morning around 5:30 in the morning, and you'll be back again for 5:30, 6 o'clock in the evening. 12-hour day. And if you've a middling day at all, you've good day's wages with you.
And what all would you be doing from you leave in the morning, and from you go out to the pier in the morning, you come back in the evening? What do you be doing on the boat?
They're just steady there. Once we go in the morning there now, it used to be we used to get rough bit, and it'd be all cut on the way out, and you'll be out the year by the time you'd have that done. But now, you buy it comes, we get it over from Wards, Kellybags, and come in boxes, and all they do is just take it out of the cartons into the box, and they've got it all done in half an hour, and then they go down on them to lie down to sleep till you get out to the gear. But once you get to the gear, it's just go, go, go.
So how long would that be? How long would you be?
It takes about 9 hours, 8 to 9 hours.
Pulling on the net, pulling on the box?
Pulling on the box and putting the back out again.
Does that go faster or does it go slow?
Well, we'd be trying to beat the clock, but that's impossible. A lot of stuff on it. Every man be singing happy as the day goes on.
And then the crabs themselves, are they plentiful or they get scarce, or what's the?
They're very scarce this year. And last year they were down about 2, but there was a few years back there now. We had some great years there back, even on the last 10 years, with some mighty years. But the prices wasn't that good. The prices there come good there the year before last when China was buying them. And once that closed down, it was just prices all went down less than half again.
So it's pretty much dependent on the market.
Depends on the markets and what's going. Like the salmon was a great boost to us. Salmon was a great boost to us. But you got off us.
But like to run your boat, like it's expensive. Much is it going to cost in a year to keep a boat? I was going to say keep a boat on the road, but keep a boat on the water.
Well, there's a lot of money involved in it because you've the expenses of keeping up. Then you have a survey every 3 years. The survey every 3 years, or I think it was 4 years. It does 4 years. It does. The survey every 4 years costs around about 10 grand. To get a survey, and upkeep of that. But the gear. Upkeep of gear is the costliest thing, That's, you've bad weather, your gear doesn't last too long, And things like that goes on.
But the pots themselves that you use, where do they come from?
Well, we buy a lot of pots now. We get the frames made local. Then me and the son, we buy the carving down in Greencastle, down there, and we'd cover them on the shade and in the bad weather, and Monday in the evening at night there, and cover away, and keeps down the expenses. But that's what, we buy a lot there down with Lawrence Kavanagh and Greencastle, and we buy all the rope down in Lawrence there, and most of it all down in Lawrence. He was a great man to us on our way up.
So a lot of the money that you spend to keep the operation going, it's spent locally.
It's spent all local. There's a lot of money. We make money, we spend it. And if we make £1, it's sent on round. Everybody has a share of it. And I have 3 of a crew on there at the back, 3 young fellas. And them boys are all on a share. If we turn around there and if we get a good day, if we get a muddling catch at all, them boys are all happy. They have a good day's wages.
So many days, like in a typical week, during the crab season, how many days would you be out?
Well, we used to be way back there now. Like now, we start to fish the crab the whole year round, because there's nothing else new, except for a few wells. And when we started out first, you get a great season to fish 30 days. That'd be from August till mid-November. That's from the year all back in then again. Because the wee boats are different to now. They wouldn't frig out in the winter time. We still to get gear on in the winter time. You don't get out to the sunny line out there, getting bathed and abused.
And again, you go further out now than you used to.
Oh, definitely. So we used to be 20 minutes, half an hour. So now we're up to 2.5, 3 hours, Timmy, before we get to the gear in the morning. That's where we were way early. Until it.
But I still find it hard to believe that there's, that it's hard to get crew. But it's a healthy lifestyle out in the water. It's a long day. I know.
It's a long day, all right. Yeah.
But still.
As I say, when I started first, that's how it all come. I working on a few building sites round the local. Never was way out. No. I was never out island unless on a wedding or something like that, And you'd won for one day's fishing the crab. You had as much money for it as you had for the full month working on a building site. And that's where I'm done for. And that time, you wouldn't be spending the money. For I never drunk much. Never really drunk or never smoked. That's the way that I went.
Just looking back on your, on your life and life at sea and so on, what did you like most about it, or what would you change, or would you change anything?
Well, just probably I wasn't younger again. It's all back over again. I started the salmon when my grandfather in 1963. Went on from that. Weather never was a problem to us. I loved it. That's the way it was.
But I think you mentioned there earlier. Maybe you might just tell us again. One of the boats were beside here. It's Dennis Kearney's. But there's a big anniversary coming up there. You might tell us about that.
Well, there was a tragedy. It'll be 40 years now, and then it was here. And me and Dennis was good friends for many years. Just one of them things. It was middle of the crab fishing too. It happened. We were fishing crab and the weather coming bad, and never got the gear out, and the boats was left on the mooring, and just ended up a disaster. And that was it.
And again, that was around about the time when you yourself started.
I was at it for a year just before that. There was very new into at that time. But Dennis and I had been at it very longer, He was at it. He was at the boats and the crab at a very young age, I was a wee bit older before I started on the boats.
But again, it shows you, just that the sea can give an awful lot, but it can take from you as well.
Well, there's no man told me back, and God rest him, he's dead and gone now. And I always said, the sea will give, but he says, you have got to watch it, it'll take back at you. And you must hit the water, because if you don't, it will not look after you. That's the way it is. And I always says, by law and by order must man abide, fight you not again one or tide.
John, you mentioned your grandfather going fishing with your grandfather, but you also have an experience with your uncle.
Me and my uncle, he was a very good man for the river drafting. He netted his own nets and we draft in the summertime. But also, he was a very good man with the snare, the dowel we call it. He could walk along a river and see salmon swimming round the pool, and with a wee dog and throw a stick in. The dog would jump into the stick, the salmon would see that, think it was a seal, and then he disappeared. He would go in under a brew or to hide to get away from it. He would go along with the brew and he would see where the salmon buried in. And that where we lad had a snare in the end of the stick. And the fourth thing, you see him putting his hand up and would be ready. He would get the snare on the salmon and he would give a pull. And I think it was for me if that to land him to safely on the brew or wherever it may be. But if he put it on his head, he could land it straight till the brew. But if it went on his tail, he'd have to pull him and let him go until he would go out and kill himself out. And then it was easy to get out after that because he was himself killed out. And for one day alone, me and him was at it, and we got over 200. He said over 200 salmon in the land quite a day. That was way in the very early 70s, beginning of the 70s. That was.
You wouldn't do that these days?
You wouldn't be on the river in the minute, but he was that good at it. It doesn't matter. Unless a man, when he was passed, he could have gone out and he would know the way to take him out and get it done quick. They wouldn't even hear salmon splashing or snapping. Get him into a bag and get him hid somewhere. He's still going yet. That uncle prepared him, and he's an old man now, but he loved the salmon, and he was good at it. And he could come, he could walk to a river, one Clonmany, what the word was, and he could tell you if there was salmon there, because he could see where they had the bed of the river along the brew clean with his tail, and he knew there were ones there. It was just a matter of coming on them. And then me all them when I was young, with your time with dog. That's it.